This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. Welcome on into Resorts World here in Las Vegas. We're continuing our live coverage of Mountain West Basketball Women's Media Day, a joint day with the WCC Conference, and excited to be here at Resorts World. We just talked to the commissioner of the Mountain West, Gloria Navarez. If you want to go back and check that, that is on our Facebook and YouTube and Twitter accounts. But action rolls on, and we're very excited. Nice enough to join us here for a couple of minutes is the head women's basketball coach at Boise State. Top 10 all-time right now, 730-plus wins. I mean, I know you want to hear all these great positive facts about you, Gordy. I got the whole list of things you've done in your career, but the longest tenured Mountain West coach, and it's been a great career, and I know you're excited about your team, and we appreciate you for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having us, and thanks for making the effort to come down here and support the Broncos. Really appreciate all you do. Yeah, well, it's really nice of you to say, and we appreciate. We're happy to be here. One of 10 active D1 coaches with 700 career wins. I mean, I know the last couple of years, Gordy, it's been not to the standard of most of your coach teams, but I know you're really excited that maybe you took your lumps in the past, and now you're ready to reap some of those rewards this year. Yeah, we returned 14 players, and so real excited about our returnees and our addition, and I feel like we've made it through a rough time, and then we got over the hump a little bit last year, and now we need to take a step forward.
How did you take that step forward? What does excite you, and why do you think you're going to be able to take that step forward this year?
I think we have pretty good continuity, pretty good chemistry, kids that have been together. We haven't lost kids in the portal, and so they're a group that has gone through some valleys and peaks, and now we're ready to roll, and hopefully we do.
I haven't studied all the Mountain West rosters, but I mean, how rare is that in this day and age of women's basketball, and to only in 2 years lose 2 players to the portal?
I don't know exactly what the statistic is, but it's got to be close to 35%. Every team loses a number of them, and,
wow.
And we've lost 1 in 2 years, and we put a great emphasis on spring and staying together and culturally staying together, and we're building this program together again, and we restarted 2 years ago and had a real rough start, and then last year, like I said, got over 500, and now this year we got to take another step forward.
I know in terms of, the transfer portal, you guys in the past have used it a little bit. You've had some key players come through here through the transfer portal that have really helped. But you've also been a developmental program and had 4th and 5th year seniors that have been here the whole way. And now you've got this young nucleus again. What is kind of your thought process on developing those young players or trying to make quick fixes in the portal and just where the game of women's college basketball is going?
I think when you build a team, you got to build a core group first. And the core group's got to believe in what you're doing and lay a foundation, and then you can add maybe some people through the portal or through a junior college to add the piece to it. And we did that with the kid from CSI, Alyssa Christensen, who took her team to the Final Four last year. So she's 6'3", and she'll be a good addition. But I think you got to build a core unit, and that's what we're trying to do. And then, with the NLI like it is now, I don't know that Jade Christopher, Mal McGuire, and Ashanti Coleman all come to our place anymore from Kansas, Oregon, and so we were fortunate to get them and did big things with them. But we think we can do some big things with this group as well.
What is the NIL game like in women's college basketball?
It's at the highest levels. It's pretty lucrative.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. We're not at that moment yet, but we do have some people that have really stepped up and helped our kids.
Right. You didn't need, like I said, you brought so many players back. You only added the 1 player this year. I know the NIL is kind of new, but how do you feel? I know Joe Nickel at the Collective, and I know there's a lot of focus on football and men's basketball, but what do you feel in terms of the NIL at Boise State on the women's side? And have you had a lot of recruits that have said they're getting more elsewhere, and that's why they're going elsewhere? Have you had to try to battle the NIL side of it in the recruiting game yet, or?
In the recruiting game, it's interesting. That's a great question, because it appears like the sophomore dads and moms are the ones that are really, okay, when we're there, we need this. And,
okay.
And this year's class and that sort of thing, I haven't really heard that as much. obviously you got to get a good fit and get a chance to play and get a degree and want more than anything. And because it's, it's not super lucrative, but our kids do have some of those agreements, and proud of them for going out and getting it. And we have a couple boosters that have stepped up for sure.
What's it been like for you adjusting as the game of basketball evolves, as thing evolves? You've been around and seen a lot of things, and now with the NIL, I mean, who would have thought, 15, 20 years ago when you're coaching that's going to be something you have to deal with, and the transfer portal being what it is now and everything else. I mean, just how has the game changed, and how do you as a veteran coach try to adapt and stay up with what's going on?
38 years ago, I had one scholarship, 4 to a room. And I remember one time we were eating sandwiches on the bus for our pregame. And so that's where the game has gone from 38 years ago. Now our kids obviously are treated very well, very similar to the men, and so the progress that's been made on that side of it is just unreal. And there are times that I'd love our kids to see just the joy that the kids played at 38 years ago on one scholarship. Each of them getting a couple $1,000s. But times have changed, and the game has changed, and we got to be a part of it. You can't fall behind in any part of it, whether it's what you're talking about or even just X and O. And you got to change with the times, or you're going to get left behind.
What and there's a lot of emphasis with what Jeremiah Dickey's doing with raising money for the practice facility and stuff, and I know that's hopefully getting closer to being done. And the men's side gets a lot of talk there, but for the women's side, if you guys are able to get that pushed across the finish line and make the upgrades to the practice facility and the coaches' offices and things, I mean, you're still having to put on a parka and walk across the parking lot or drive from your office to the practice facility and stuff. I mean, if you guys were able to centralize all that over there and get that done in the next couple of years, what would that do for the women's basketball program?
I think it'll help immensely in terms of chemistry. So right now they do have to walk across to do the lifting, and then but if they have a meeting with me, they have to make quite an effort to get there, and it creates anxiety by the time they're there. All right, what's coach going to say? And if we could be right by our facility, I can just pull them right after practice. Hey, how's this going? What are you doing? How's your test? Have you finished your paper? Rather than creating this whole anxiety thing. And so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to really help our team chemistry, help our culture, help us communicate better.
If you do have a question for Coach Presnell, we got a couple minutes. We'll take it on the YouTube chat there. Just get your question in for Gordy. We'll get it to you. We got Abby Muse and Mya Hansen coming up here shortly. I mentioned Jeremiah Dickey, though. You've coached and worked with a lot of athletic directors. What do you make of what Jeremiah is doing here?
I think Jeremiah is incredibly progressive, and he has a new way of doing things, and it's current how he does things. And I think, he's always on the forefront looking for an edge, and any school needs that. And perfect example is that lighting in that football game the other night was pretty phenomenal between the third and fourth quarter.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I'd never seen anything like it. And you ask an old timer like me, hey, we're going to put some money into some lighting. I'm thinking, man, that's not a very good idea. and then you watch it and you think, man, it energized the crowd. It changed everything. And so, that's just an example of some of the things that he's accomplished and changing the culture of our whole athletic department, our program.
Yeah, I saw a softball parents recruit put a message that was like one of the reasons that they committed. They always dreamed of having their kid play in a atmosphere and at a program where they can do something like that. So that doesn't just help football. You could that's probably a nice atmosphere to bring some women's basketball recruits to.
Yeah. And what they need is a 70s Neil Diamond guy to sing the Sweet Caroline song. Then I'm standing on my feet, pumping my fists a little bit.
That's what it would take. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now we're getting into the good stuff we wanted to talk to Gordy about. But now I mentioned your team and having all 5 starters back, and you guys shot the ball a lot better from the outside last year as well, right? I mean, is that what are the strengths of this team going to be?
I think we have post presence, and today's basketball, I would say even on the men's side, but in our side, everyone's gone to the 5-out look, and everyone's multidimensional, and we've kind of stayed true to at least having some traditional post presence. And so with the freshmen that are now sophomores, they all can stretch the floor and all shoot the 3 pretty well. We're hoping that will create a little more opportunities down low.
Yeah.
If you got to come out and close out and guard us, and we can get that ball inside, and Elodie and Abby and Trista, there are loads. Alyssa down there on the block, they're big kids, and so hopefully we can pound it. And the other thing, having some bigger kids at our level, I always think the San Diego State men, if they miss it, they go get it.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to be. We want that mental toughness and that aggressiveness that if we're going to miss it, we're going to go get it.
Yeah. You won 8 of 11 games, I think, down the stretch, at least in Mountain West play to finish out the year. I mean, do you feel like that momentum it gave you a good base going into the offseason, going into this year, that you kind of saw, later in the season, some things that can carry over here?
Yeah, and I think it was a testament to our kids that they hung in, they prevailed. We lost some really poor games before Christmas, and some of that's on me, but I think getting on that roll a little bit, and then we lost twice to Colorado State and down the stretch, and I think it really motivated them, and saw that we should have been in the WNIT. We shouldn't have lost a couple games. We didn't deserve to go to the WNIT, but the games we lost were really poor, and so we got to take care of preseason, and we got a good schedule. Not going to be easy, but we got to do a better job in preseason.
We're going to talk to Abby and Mya here in a few minutes. Tell us about Abby. She's already got the career record, the single season record. I think if she sticks around for the COVID year, she's got a chance at the Mountain West record for blocks, but I know she does a lot more than that as well, almost averaging a double-double last year. I mean, just her presence and kind of leading things on and off the court. How special is Abby?
Tremendous academic students I think, I could be wrong, but I think she's the only undergrad that's in an MBA program ever.
Wow.
And hasn't got her undergrad degree, but they've already, because of her grades, they've already let her in the MBA program. So after next year, she leaves here with her MBA and her BA. And so just tremendous kid, rebounder, athletic, block shots, dictates our defense, rotates well, extremely athletic, has improved her timing. We got to get a little better on the block, and she knows that, and she will. And excited about her. We still got 2 years with her.
Yeah.
And so big things ahead for her, that's for sure.
You've got 2 years with everybody, right? I mean, you have a chance to, you were saying last year, everybody's coming back this year. You're just going to be able to say that again next year, right?
Yeah. I hope we got it right, because they're coming back next year. Yeah, I hope we got it right. But they're just great kids. And, like I said, 10th this year academically in the country, and 7th last year GPA wise. They're 3.71 as a group. And I can't ask more of them, but we got to play a little better, have a little more self-discipline. It's all kind of coach stuff, but down the stretch of games, we got to have more discipline and execute and win some of these short, close games. And
Abby was picked preseason Mountain West team. You guys were picked 4th in the preseason. You think that's about right for you guys, or?
Yeah, the top 3 are tremendous teams, and the Colorado State Hofschild kid is a lifetime kind of player, and once in a while you get someone like that, and she's really good, and UNLV's loaded again. So I'm excited to compete against those guys, though, and I think our team's excited as well.
Tell us about Mya. We saw the 31-point game against BYU, obviously, last year, and representing your team down here at Media Days. So you got a lot of players you're probably expecting to take big steps forward, and I'm sure she's one of them.
So we had a great freshman recruiting class last year, and they're sophomores now, and 3 of them had serious injuries, and she tore her PCL. And so she had 31 against BYU, and then hurt herself and was out for a number of games, and never was quite the same when she came back, and now she's healthy. Natalie Pasco, she's our shooter, a freshman all conference, breaks her thumb on her shooting hand in the middle of the year. Tatum Thompson, who's maybe the best athlete we've ever had, breaks her foot. So if those 4 freshmen that are now sophomores can stay healthy and combine that with the LEDs and the Mary Kay Naros and the Abbeys, we have a chance to have a good, strong core nucleus and really compete.
Are you able to? Do you enjoy the wins more, or do the losses hurt more? When you've been coaching a while? I mean, I mentioned 730 wins. I think you're 34th all time. I mean, I think people realize that. I don't know the 34 greatest winning coaches in the history of women's basketball sitting next to me here. I mean, what still fires you up these days to get up early and watch film and go to practice and do the grind of these seasons?
I love our players. The euphoria you have is kind of cool when you win a game you shouldn't. It doesn't last very long anymore.
Yeah.
But you've been so complimentary, and I appreciate and respect you so much. But the reality is, I've done this for a long time, and I've lost over 300 games. So think of that. Think of your wife waking up next to you for over a year with losses. Okay.
Wow.
So
you put it like that. That's a rough year.
Well, yeah. You'd be out of the house probably, but I'm just kidding.
I'm sure you were disappointed in your Mariners. We know you're a big sports fan, obviously, but what are your sports takes right now? It's got you going.
The Mariners, we had a bad September, and we had a great schedule in July and August, and then we had to play the big dogs. And
you had it right there that final week. You just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, and a home game, and didn't get it done. So disappointed in that. But love our Broncos, love football. I know we're getting better. I think we're going to have a good run in the Mountain West, and our men's program is they're going to surprise people. They're loaded. So I think Boise State's headed in the right direction, and we certainly hope we are.
2 times, right? You've thrown out the first pitch in a Mariners game.
I
2 times. I think maybe that last week they should have had you come do it a third time, and maybe that would have been the difference. But
so the first time I barely got it across the plate. And, if you bounce it, they boo you.
Oh, yeah. Do you go all the way to the top of the mound, or do you kind of just go?
I went in front of the mound. That was part of. I got blitzed on that a little bit by some people. So the next time I got to do it, I practiced all day and I got it from the mound and I did a little bit better. But there was a lot of anxiety. You think it's going to be so fun, and it's so fun afterwards, and it's so fun before. But there's some anxiety going up to that mound. First thing they say is don't step on the dirt, don't step on the lines, and you're trying to worry about everything.
Yeah. Well, hey, we appreciate your time. Thanks for being down here, Gordy. Great stuff, and looking forward to following the team this year. It should be an exciting season, and really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, hold on a second. Don't get up quite yet. We'll take a quick time out. We'll be back with Abby Muse and Mya Hansen right after this. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. We're back here at Mountain West Basketball Women's Media Days. I'm cutting you guys off here. Sorry, there we go. We appreciate Abby Muse, Mya Hansen from the women's basketball team, Boise State, for joining us here as we continue our live coverage of Mountain West Media Days. What's it been like being down here?
It's been great, honestly. Kind of a whirlwind since we flew in last night. But, it's been a great media day. So props to everyone putting this on. But it's a great honor to be here. Yeah,
what does it mean to you guys to be picked for the team to come down here and represent and be able to talk about Boise State and women's basketball with some of the best players in the conference here?
Yeah, it's definitely an honor to be here, especially just to talk about our team, talk about our goals this year, and just to talk about each player, because everybody on our team has a great impact for this team. So
we just had Gordy on, so let's start there. Give us some good Gordy Presnell stories. What do we got with Coach P?
Well, I got to go straight to the Gordy Gritty. Of course, I feel like that went pretty viral last year, so that was one great moment. That definitely caught us off guard. That's for sure. But
what was that like when we saw the video? But you guys were pretty excited about that.
Oh yeah,
it was crazy. And he learned that dance like 2 seconds before. One of our GAs just was like, "Do this real quick," and he was like, "Okay." And then he came in and he crushed it. We were just all on the floor laughing. It was so awesome.
Yeah, my 8-year-old can do it perfect, and then my 6-year-old tries, and he just kind of jumps up and down and waves his arms. I'm like, yeah, it's going pretty good.
How about yours? What's yours like?
We're not quite ready for that. Yeah, we're a little later on the strip before in the evening before we'd have to get to that. But to have a coach like Gordy that's been there as long as he has, done as much as he has, won as much as he's had. He's top 35 all time in wins. Obviously when he says something, I'm sure you guys respect that. But what is it just that he's able to win as much as he does and get the best out of you guys?
Oh yeah. Well, it's nice knowing how how long he's been here and he's been a Bronco. I mean, you rarely see that nowadays. I feel like that longevity of a coach is usually coaches in and coaches out. So it's great knowing that we can trust him. Our administration trusts him. We know he's been there for a while. He's been through the ups and downs of it all. So whatever he has to say, we definitely listen.
Well, what are your thoughts on Gordy as a coach, Abby?
I've really enjoyed playing for him, honestly. We've been through lots of ups and downs together between the COVID pandemic, between having a losing season my sophomore year. So just kind of with those hills and valleys, I've been very thankful that he's my coach, because like Mya said, a lot of coaches can be in and out nowadays. So it's been a really enjoyable experience for sure.
If you do have a question for Abby or Mya, we got a couple minutes on the YouTube chat. Let us know. We'll throw some questions in there. But what was how tough was last year? I know you guys finished strong, get some momentum, but just struggling a little bit the last couple of years, I guess. But knowing you all were coming back, I know there was optimism. But how do you guys kind of look at struggling and trying to kind of turn that page this year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can definitely be frustrating with losing some games. I mean, we're all here to win. We all have that competitive fire in us, so we want to win every game. But yeah, I would say definitely, at least for me, it felt like a learning year last year, just being a freshman, coming into it, trying to get a feel of college basketball, get a feel of the team. And I feel like with a lot of new faces last year, that gave us the opportunity to work on that chemistry, to work on kind of building our pieces, building those building blocks, which that's why I'm grateful for this year. We have those building pieces already set, so we can just come out right out of the gate ready to go.
Yep. And Abby, I know when you got recruited and stuff, they're coming off making the tournament every year, winning every year and stuff. And then it was obviously a little bit of a tough couple of years. But what are you seeing, I guess, to think this year is going to be different?
For me, I think just coming in my freshman year when there was 7 or 8 freshmen, and we knew it was going to be a rebuilding year or two, kind of taking those steps. And so I think now, like Mya said, we have those pieces to really put something together that could be super successful. So we're just building off of last year. Last year's jump from the previous year was huge, and so we're hoping to continue to stack those years.
Let's start with you, Mya. 31 points against BYU. Everything's going great, and then you obviously have the injury and stuff. I mean, how hard was just last year? You mentioned being a freshman, learning experience, but just to do what you did, and then have the injury kind of slow you down a little bit. How do you look at your freshman year?
Yeah, it was definitely that was a hard time, just being injured, because nobody wants to be out of the game. It's just hard sitting on that sideline knowing that you can't contribute on the court. But my main focus was to contribute things what I could off the court in those 3 weeks I was out, just being that communicator, trying to lead my team from the bench as well. But it was definitely a difficult 3 weeks just trying to get back into it. But I'm thankful for our coaches, our supporting staff, our weight trainers, and our athletic trainers. They were able to get me in back on the court in 3 weeks when it should have been out for the rest of the season. So I'm very thankful that I was able to come back, even though I wasn't a full 100% when I came back. But it was nice to be able to contribute. So it was nice to come and then during the summer keep working at it and to be healthy now.
And you weren't the only one that had an injury. I mean, you guys were kind of snake bit a little bit last year. Do you feel like we didn't really get to see the full team for last year that could have made a difference in some of those games? Yeah,
definitely. We had some people out at the beginning of the season and some at the end. So we kind of didn't get to put a full roster together, which was kind of difficult. But it was also, one of our words this year is good. We just focus on whatever happened. The adversity was good. So looking back at those times, good. It didn't happen because that means more people had to step up. So now when it comes to game times, if something were to happen again, when we hit that adversity again, we can easily say good and next person up.
How many times have you tried to drive in the lane and Abby has just swatted you?
Oh my gosh. I don't even want to talk about it. Practice is times going into the key. That shot's not going up. I'll just take dribble back out.
How impressive is it?
Stay away from her.
In practices, games, whatever. How impressive is it? Just 3 blocks a game essentially. How crazy is what you can do?
It's insane. I love being her hype woman. Anytime that happens, I'll be coming in screaming anytime I see her get a block.
I know you have to obviously have the size, but what is the art to blocking a shot, Abby? How are you able to do it as often as you do it without falling?
It's timing for sure. I know when I was younger, I played volleyball, and so I was just middle blocker, and that was huge with being able to help me meet passes at the top and try not to get fouls. I know Sower will, get on me about that, and I've gotten a lot better about that over the years. But just the timing and using your body, not, crushing the other person.
Yeah.
I guess.
I know we made a big deal about it last year, but obviously the single season record, you already have the Boise State record. If you used the COVID year, you could set the Mountain West record, in 2 years, in the next 2 years on your current pace. Does that, maybe you'll think about it, 15, 20 years from now when you got kids and you're telling them about when you played. I don't know, but does that make you, do you think at all about like what, where you're etching your name here and you are doing something that nobody at Boise State women's basketball has ever done, the amount of blocks you've had? What does it make you feel when you think about the big picture of what you're doing?
I don't know. It's kind of crazy to me, which sounds cliche, but last year I wasn't even really aware until about like January, February, when Alex kind of clued me in on what my pace was. And that's obviously not the focus. The focus is the team. The focus is winning. So whatever I can do to help the team. And for me, one of those assets is shot blocking. So no, it's not really the forefront of like, oh, like I want to get this record. I want to do this. I need to do anything like that. Like, no, the goal is winning. So if over the next 2 years, that means breaking the Mountain West record, that's amazing. That's fantastic. But what's more amazing is continuing to improve as a team and to getting that Mountain West championship.
You guys were picked 4th in the preseason. What do you make of just the team this year? And like I said, you got so much back from last year. And I mean, just how do you guys look at your goals? And I'm sure you're going to say, hey, we should, 4th's not good enough, obviously, of where you want to finish. But I mean, how do you kind of look at the outlook for the season this year?
Yeah, I mean, you can always look at the stats. You can look at the numbers right now, but I mean, it's all kind of in the past at that point. They're going off past season, and we can only focus on the future right now. So it comes down to who has more grit, who has the more competitiveness to win these games. And I feel like we've had some pretty competitive practices so far. We're working hard in the gym and in the weight room and everywhere we are. So I think that's what matters at this point is you can look at stats. Even if we're first or last, it doesn't matter. All that matters is what you put in the work in that gym. So that's all we can focus on and keep getting better.
You were the defensive player of the year last year, voted to the preseason team this year. Mentioned the team being picked 4th. What's kind of your thoughts kind of going into the season here?
Everyone's super stoked, myself included. I think it's huge that we have almost everyone returning. We have one new player, Alyssa Christensen. She's been a great addition. So I think going into the summer and into fall workouts, we're not really starting at square one anymore. We're already that much far ahead. And like Mya was saying, we've had really intense workouts, super competitive practices, things of that nature. So I think instead of just kind of starting over and everyone's getting to know each other and getting that chemistry, we're already a step ahead in that regard. And Alyssa's fit right in. So I'm super excited for this season. I feel like there's a lot in store.
Sorry to cut you off there. We got Abby and Mya with us for a couple more minutes. If you do have a question, we can throw it up there on the screen for you. Corey wants to know what part of your game has improved the most or have you worked on the most since the end of last season? So Mya, you want to go first?
Yeah. I've been focused on the biggest change, at least for college basketball, is just the pace of the game, getting used to the pace. And I think I've started to get used to it to end the year, except it kind of threw a little hitch in my step during that time when I was injured and stuff, and I was able to come back. So just focusing on the pace of the game, just keep improving my ball handling and kind of every aspect of a point guard needs.
What about for you? What's your thought, what you wanted to work on and be better at this year?
For me in the summer and in the fall, I wanted to focus on my offensive game because defense I'm very comfortable with. I enjoy defense. So just being more offensively minded and realizing that I am a threat and just focusing more on that.
Nathaniel wanted to know about personal goals for the season for each of you. I mean, you had the 93 blocks last year. I mean, it's triple digits. You going to try for 100 or what's the goal this year?
That would be cool. I know I was close last year, which again, I didn't really even realize till about February, end of January. So, to get on that pace again would be amazing. But honestly, I think the goal for this year, like we were talking about, is to win. And then personal goal is to stay healthy and be ready to help my team, I guess, because that's your biggest ability is availability, honestly. So I think that's my goal for this year.
Bill Parcells quote or something, the old football coach. I'm sure Gordy's got a lot of great quotes. What I assume for yours is just trying to stay healthy the whole year and contributing.
Yes, that's definitely number one. But I'd also say like it's hard to define when I think of goals. I also think of roles for the season, and it's kind of hard to define roles throughout the season because it can change so consistently from game to game, whether it's scoring, whether it's passing, anything I do. So my focus is just trying to keep that competitive atmosphere and keep my effort and attitude up during practice and games, and that's all I can control at this point. So keep that up, and then it'll carry on into games.
Somebody had asked about the game you're most looking forward to this year. Is there a game or two you guys have circled on the schedule that you're excited about? Or?
There's a few. UNLV for sure. That's on Mya's birthday, actually.
Yeah.
So we're getting some birthday dubs, definitely. And then Colorado State. For sure. We're ready for that face up.
I'd say Colorado State for sure. And they've told me a little bit about the Wyoming atmosphere. I've just never been to be able to play there yet because we didn't have a game there last year. And just to kind of get to play with them again, because that was my last game before I when I was injured. So just to be able to play with them and see how that game goes this year, because it didn't go the way we wanted to last year.
Well, final thing, and we appreciate you guys sitting down with us, and appreciate Alex for helping set it up, and Gordy for jumping on too. But what just being down here with some of the premier players, coaches in the league, I kind of asked you at the beginning, but just does this kind of get the juices flowing, I guess, and kind of you've been practicing for a long time, going back to summer and fall, and it probably still feels like forever away that you actually have a game. But what is just the excitement level and kicking it into another gear here, and hopefully, as you said, just getting a lot of dubs this year.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this definitely adds a lot more excitement here. It just reminds me of how great our Mountain West Conference is. I mean, hitting the 25th mark is pretty insane too, but just being able to play for this and really having the opportunity, just kind of looking around to see how grateful you are to have these opportunities.
Abby, your thoughts?
Definitely agreed. Very grateful to be here, to be a part of this conference, part of this team. I think being back in Vegas definitely got the competitive, mindset going, as it has been, but something about Vegas, you know?
Is, yeah.
Gets excited for basketball season.
And it's kind of cool. It starts here, and then obviously you hope I guess it doesn't end there. You want to make the tournament and stuff, but you'll have the conference tournament to look forward to at Thomas and Mack Center at the end of the year. But Abby, I appreciate you guys jumping on, and it's looking forward to seeing what you guys can do this year. Again, picked 4th in the preseason, the women's basketball team at Boise State. We'll take a quick time out. We'll continue our live coverage here at Media Days right after this. Don't go anywhere. You looking for a new job? Well, how about getting into the trucking industry? Our friends at Transportation Compliance Service can help you every step of the way, whether it's the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, all the paperwork, all the things you need. Let them help you out. Transcomservice.com. They'll have you out there towing that first load in no time. Transcomservice.com. United Commercial Insurance makes business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Give them a call, 229-8222. Bronco Nation News, a proud client of United Commercial Insurance. We highly recommend you do as well at UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. The Raines family is happy to have made the switch to Boise Dentistry Co. Highly recommend you do as well. Dr. Miner and his staff, full family dentistry for the whole family. They make it an enjoyable experience to go to the dentist, and we highly recommend you check them out. 5 locations in the Treasure Valley. You may think you're happy with your dentist. You'll be even happier if you make the switch to Dr. Miner and Company. Check them out online, BoiseDentistryCo.com. The pounds continue to fall off, and it's thanks to Dave and our friends over at Lean Feast. Check them out, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Full customizable meal prep. You want to go into the store, pick out your meals individually. That's great. It's right there on Eagle Road in Meridian. Or you can do it all online at leanfeast.com/Meridian, and they'll deliver it to you. 208-487-5782. They're feeding the football team, the basketball team, Taylon Green, Ashton Genty, Tyson Degenhart, and more. Check them out. Lean Feast, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Still time to get that fall round of golf in, and you need to do it at Timberstone Golf Course out in Caldwell. Book a tee time at playtimberstone.com. The best greens in the valley, new technology, new golf carts, friendly environment, fun, challenging course. Check them out, Timberstone Golf Course. Book your tee time today, and I'll see you out there. PlayTimberstone.com. Continuing our live coverage here of Women's Basketball Media Days, Mountain West Conference. I got the WCC Conference here as well. So if you got any questions or comments, we can get those in here. We're wrapping up day 1. We already had Gloria Navarez, the commissioner of the Mountain West, on. Just had Gordy Presnell, Abby Muse, and Mya Hansen, but really excited to be down here for the women and super excited for the men. That'll be tomorrow as well. We're going to have all your favorite Mountain West coaches, Nico Medved, Jeff Linder, you go down the line, Richard Patino, Brian Dutcher, Steve Alford, and of course, Leon Rice. We're working on that Leon Rice special interview. Hopefully we can pull it off. Leon Rice, Mark Few, looking forward to that. So appreciate everybody for checking out our coverage. We've really enjoyed being down here. We're going to have the football interviews. We missed them today, but Gabby Cox, our intern, was able to record the coaches talking today. We'll get those posted this afternoon. And as I said, we'll be starting bright and early, 8 a.m. tomorrow here from Mountain West Media Days. On the men's side, you got WCC here, so Mark Few. You got some other WCC coaches, looking forward to that. And then obviously Tyson Degenhart and Max Rice here for the men's basketball team as well at Resorts World. So our headquarters are over at Circa. You got Resorts World here where the media days are, and we're having fun here in Las Vegas. So JD says, happy you made it for the women. Of course, not going to come all the way to Vegas for media days and not cover the women as well. So excited about being down here, and then we'll head straight over to the football game early now on Friday. On Saturday night. So full basketball, football coverage, BroncoNationNews.com. And again, the only local outlet that made the trip down here. So hopefully you'll consider supporting us with a subscription. You see the scroll at the bottom of the screen there. BNN 50 deal. You get a 1-year subscription for just $50, and we'll throw in a Taco Bell gift card while we're at it. So hopefully you'll consider a subscription. We appreciate you for checking out our coverage of Media Days. And again, 8 a.m. tomorrow, bright and early, we'll be starting with the full day of coverage for the men's team. And again, if you missed any of our interviews, Gloria Navarez, the Mountain West commissioner, or Gordy Presnell, Abby Muse, Mya Hansen, you can go back on our YouTube channel and check that out as well. So from Resorts World, we're going to sign off. Appreciate you guys for checking us out. Go check BroncoNationNews.com. Mike Prater, a new column posted on the quarterback situation there. Make sure you check that out as well. So thanks a lot. Make sure you're subscribing on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, all of our social media channels. And we'll be talking to you real soon, 8 a.m. tomorrow, live from Resorts World. Here, checking off from Las Vegas. And again, I guess it's 9 o'clock back in Boise, 8 o'clock here in Vegas, Mountain Time, 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll start our live coverage. So thanks to Gordy Presnell and everybody from Boise State for helping us out. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning for Men's Basketball Media Day. For Bronco Nation News and all of our great sponsors, my name is BJ Rains. We'll talk to you later.